I just graduated from a trade school while taking high school for architecture, and I've job shadowed and interned with multiple firms and also worked on construction sites. I've done tons of stuff, basically. Know what I'm talking about, architecture. So let's get started. The first thing I do is I find inspiration, usually on Pinterest. I think Pinterest is really aesthetic and it captures a lot of the vibe of what people are looking for in buildings. If you have a client or somebody who's asking you to build something for them, I suggest using this and communicating with them saying, hey, can you add some pictures to this Pinterest board I created and added a few pictures to already, and tell me, do you like this? Do you not like this? What do you like from these pictures? What do you not like from these pictures, okay? Like in the video right now, I have this Tudor-style house up in the top left that I am vaguely referencing. You want to write down a list of rooms that's going to go into your building depending on what you're looking for. If you're like, well, I'm building a casino, and I don't know what the hell goes in a casino. Chat, look it up. Look it up. A lot of architecture, surprisingly, is just looking things up. In my architecture class, I would go, Miss Teacher, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I supposed to do? And she goes, go to Google, my child. And I learned pretty much everything I need. How big are usual boards for a deck? Look it up. How big is a typical living room? Look it up. Can I make a livable space out of a 1,000 square foot building? Look it up. Chat, it's literally that easy. So any questions you have, any curiosities you have, if you look it up and you're still confused, leave it in the comments. I will be in a different country, but that is okay, because I will answer it anyway, because I am always chronically online. So after you write down a list of rooms that your building will have, such as bedrooms, you're gonna want to figure out what rooms you want next to each other. I'm gonna give y'all a bit of examples. Sometimes you don't want your laundry room next to your bedroom because the laundry room's loud as shit and annoying as shit, and nobody wants to hear the of things going around in the washer, okay? So that's an example of rooms you don't want next to each other. Typically, stairs are right by the entrances anyway, because if you bring in, like, furniture or similar stuff, you always want to bring it up a stairwell, okay? You always want to bring it up a stairwell, and hopefully that stairwell's pretty good. I know ours is definitely not. Definitely not good. That's for sure. This is a really important one for games with high graphics, as well as high quality shaders for games like Minecraft, Roblox Studio, things like that. You want each room, especially talking about bedrooms here, to have 2 windows. Here's the reason. 1 window means that you have light coming in, but it's harsh. You can tell where the light is because it is a stark difference between light and shadow. If you have 2 windows, even if they're on the same wall, if you have them on 2 different walls, I mean, that's fabulous. But if they're on the same wall, that's still fine. They will create a gradient and make the lighting look softer. That makes people want to sleep in a bedroom rather than feeling anxious because of the harshness. It's a really fascinating thing, but not only is that the reason, but it just makes your freaking bedroom look better. It just makes everything look good, okay? If you don't believe me, look it up, look at Pinterest, and look at rooms. I bet you the ones that you really like are the ones with 2 windows or more. The ones with 1 window look great, but that's because of the dramatic lighting. You would not want to sleep in that room. And if you say, yes, I would, then it just means it's a pretty fucking room. But basically, if you saw a room that was the same, but it had 2 windows instead of 1, you'd rather sleep in that room, I bet. It's just how it works. It's the psychology, chat. It's the psychology. Architecture's all about psychology and how people use spaces. So keep that in mind. If you're making a roleplay game about cars, focus a lot in on the cars. Okay? If you're making one about family, focus in on how a family roleplays. Focus in on all the stuff like that. If you're making a club game, focus on the bedrooms, if you understand what I mean. Because who else is using any other room in the house except for the freaking bedroom, bro? Ain't nobody roleplaying a family. They roleplaying making a family. They get freaky up in Club Roblox, okay? I don't make the rules. They just do it. The main thing we want to do now is get the shape of our building. You can actually get the shape of your building by looking up floor plans online that are similar to the building you're trying to make. If you're trying to make a log cabin, look up log cabin floor plan on Pinterest. And boom, you can see a cool floor plan, okay? But I suggest You always consider how somebody would live in this space. If your dream is to have a study that's like got these beautiful double doors and it opens into this beautiful garden and it's got all these cool things, look that up. Look that up as a floor plan and you'll get a really good idea of how to make that as a building. Floor plans are there to help you understand why a building is made a certain way and how to make it a certain way. Like, that's the whole point of them. There's also this interesting, unique sketching method by a really famous architect named Frank Lloyd Wright. I am obsessed with architecture. Obviously, I'm literally trying to do it as a career, as well as this, making YouTube videos. Of course, this is my first one, so, pretty God, it's good. As well as streaming, which I've been doing since January. You're going to want to draw a square on a piece of paper. I suggest you try this because it's actually, really addictive, but maybe I'm just a bit of a whore for architecture. I don't fucking know. I mean, at this point, they might as well just call me a prostitute for the boxes. Freaking draw a square on your piece of paper. Then make 4 to 6 other shapes that overlap that square and stick out going multiple directions. They can overlap each other in any way possible. Just make sure that they are always overlapping the original square that you had. Okay? Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to draw the outline of all of those shapes. This will be the outline of your building. A lot of buildings usually have hallways and everything like that. I typically make a central room in the middle of the building where this square goes. You can do that. You can choose to do whatever you want. I suggest, again, to look up a bunch of floor plans that you like and decide what you like about them and include that in what you're making. This method is really, really helpful for making a really fast building. I can sketch out a building in 2 freaking minutes with this method, man, and it is great. I am obsessed with it, actually obsessed. Now you want to start by getting a central room or a central hallway, okay? You want your bathrooms to be close to the entrance because, people hold their pee and then they come in and then they use the bathroom. Have, closets near the entrance of the house because, you'd have, coats and, a mud room and everything. Basically, places to people just kind of wipe their feet off. The main thing is after you decide what's going to be in the center of your house, build around it. Like if at the center of your house is your kitchen, find out what needs to be close to your kitchen. I suggest having a window for your kitchen. If you're making a personal base in Minecraft, or if you're making a tavern like I am in the background of this video, you can use these methods for anything you want, even real life stuff. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 2-3 years. So you know what? Go for it, guys. Go for it. A lot of building in Minecraft that I find is just replicating something in a picture and making it exaggerated. That's what I typically do. And once you have this floor plan that you've made, after you build out from it, all you want to do is just transfer it into a game and then start just, changing things about it as you go. You want to start by making the walls, of course, and how tall you want it to be, and then start building off of that, okay? I had a frame made out of dirt that you can constantly see me deconstruct in the video that I then cover with a bunch of stuff. Is it annoying? Hell yes. It is probably the most infuriating thing I've done in a single game. I never use frames, but there's a reason why this is one of the better things I've done. After you've made a floor plan, that's pretty much the whole point of everything. I do have a bit of tips for people who are a bit more curious or they want to put a lot of more effort into what they're doing. The main thing you want to keep in mind is what the purpose of your building is, or even if you're building a kingdom, your city. What is the purpose of all of it? How do people interact with everything? What kind of situations arise where people need to use the space, and how can I cater to that? That's the type of mindset a lot of architects have. So, make sure as you build, you actively look back on your references and inspiration you picked out and just make it. Do not think of anything else except laying it out. I am the type of person that overthinks everything, including making this YouTube video. Do not be like me. Or you can be like me. I'm pretty cool, except for that. There is a reason that we cringe on things from the past, and it is because they are ass. But we only started doing the things we do now that are good because we did the things that are ass in the past, okay? Here's the fun facts. Kitchens work best on the eastern side of buildings to receive morning light. Closets are best placed on the northern side of the house, specifically the northwestern side of the house, to insulate the house from cold. Sunrooms and rooms receiving warmth and sun are best placed on the south side of the house with lots of windows. Green roofs, such as soil and plants, help reduce heat loss from the tops of buildings. Using trigonometry, you can create overhangs that, depending on the position of the sun, cover an entire window in summer or any time of the year you choose, and also do the math for, to cool down a house. There's also a geothermal method used in a lot of non-American countries where under dark pavement, it collects heat to heat up flooring in houses, typically used in a lot of places that receive like maybe a lot of snow. That's a really good example. Also, it's just really helpful because it helps reduce costs. If you have a garden, I suggest placing it in a place where it isn't near a room that will have a light on specifically at nighttime. The nighttime is really important for plants to kind of not have that sunlight, so they're able to recover from all the sun that they receive during the day. If they have sunlight, or artificial light in this case, in the nighttime, their growth will be stunted, and they will not grow as well. So in real life, if you have a garden, keep that in mind as where you place it. If you have a window that constantly sheds light on it at night, its growth will be stunted. Commercial buildings require handicap access to all public areas, including worker areas. Residential units usually do not unless there's special circumstances. To make the process for structural engineers easier, aka the people who are actually deciding how the building is going to stand, make your building on a grid pattern with pillars so they can easily figure out how it stands. That's the main stuff. If you have any more questions, ask me in the comment section. I'm going to be making a second video and probably a third video about how this tavern's going to turn out. Bye, guys!